All right, guys, so I'm pretty excited to share this team with you all. Now, I do want to make it clear that this team, this version I'm going to show you all, the one with 3 epics and 2 rares, there's ways to make it better, and I do think having a Newt or having even a legendary champion in place of Maneater is going to help you out, especially if you get a Soul Reap in here, because there are some times where RNG happens and we don't get enough damage from the counterattacks to actually kill the boss. Not very often, but with this version of it, it's more likely to happen than a slightly improved version. Now, this team, not only is it accessible champions as far as, epics and 2 rares, you could go full epics, but also the fastest champion is Geomancer at 267 speed. That to me is incredible. So I want to show you guys how this team works. Also, there could be changes in the future that mess this team up because there's 2 interactions that are interesting, to say the least. One is that Kaja is going before the boss. That shouldn't be happening. The boss is getting her extra turn for every 10 buffs placed, and I have 2 shield sets on my team, which is acting as 10 buffs throughout, which has been confirmed in the content creator chat that that's working as intended. So that shouldn't be changed. But if Kaja is changed to basically not go before the boss, then that means that the boss is going to go, then Kaja is going to place the block debuffs, and then it's not going to work out as intended. So if that happens, I'll revisit the team, reassess. But for now, it's working as intended, as far as I know, and it's working very well. Matter of fact, the fastest version of this team that I've had so far was this one right here, 35 seconds on stage 30, which is crazy to me. Now, there are a few things you need to keep in mind with this team. I'll show you guys the breakdown right here. But I have all the information, basically, that you need to know right here. So you need 2 shield sets minimal. 1 needs to be a bolster. Now, with that said, the bolster set in my situation is on Maneater. Maneater doesn't have to be Maneater. He could be any unkillable champion with an AoE 2-turn unkillable. Emic or Sir Nick are the 2 that I can think of. Not really sure of any others, if there even is, but those 2 I can think of right off the top of my head, and those 2 would be amazing. If you get Soul Reap, if you get Brimstone, either one of those blessings would be massive as far as making up for any of that damage that Cupidus doesn't do. If Cupidus crits all the time into a decreased defense and weaken, you're going to be fine. You're not going to fail. But if he doesn't crit and you don't have decreased defense and weaken, you're going to be left with a little bit of damage at the very end, especially if you're using Cold Heart or just double Cold Hearts. But for this run, I have Maneater and Bolster, but also 4-piece Supersonic. Now, if you don't have Supersonic, or if you don't have a 4-piece Supersonic with 2 of them in the accessories, you're going to have to go 4 up top. You can do that. Just throw a bolster set on, say, your Cold Heart. Maybe you're using Newt. Maybe you're using Royal Guard or Husk. Throw the bolster set on them. You need the 4-piece Supersonic. The 4-piece Supersonic is going to allow Maneater to boost and cut in just before the Cupidus, but just after the Venus. So he is going to need to be between 262 and 270. So let's do Unkillable Champ, 262 to 267, I believe is what I said, right? 267. Now, the reason why those are the speeds is because if we look at stage 30, the Cupidus is 262, the Venus is 267. So we need to be right between those because after his Supersonic 4-piece kicks in, we're going to have enough turn meter boosted that he's going to slide in right between, have the unkillable before the Cupidus goes, and be solid. But you also need to make sure you have enough HP to survive that Venus and her strip plus the possible AoE decreased defense plus weaken. It can sometimes kill your champions. So good blessings, good shield sets, all of that should be fine. Now, my other shield set is on Inquisitor Shamael. He's very slow. I built him for a little bit of extra damage. If you can squeeze out a little extra damage on anybody, go for it. Because like I said, there's some RNG with the hits that could make you just really close to getting the kill, but not quite there, which can be easily made up for. You can really get this run to probably 97% success rate. The only thing being a fail is if Geomancer misses that first HP burn, which, by the way, for accuracy, you're going to be looking at 505 minimum. Now, with the speeds being so low comparatively at 267, that's a minimum speed. Geomancer needs to be between 267 and 280. For some reason, if you go above 280, he starts targeting the Kaja with the HP burn instead. I'm not really sure why, but there's some weird interactions. So 267 to 280 is going to be fine. You're going to go before The Venus goes right after the Timid, basically. Also, make sure you get your accuracy. Accuracy and speed is all that you need for him. And then for the Cold Heart spots, it could be any max HP champion. I'll give you guys an example of a few runs without Cold Hearts. But for the masteries and everything, Inquisitor Shamel, we have Phantom Touch on him, but it could be Cruelty. Cruelty may be better, maybe a little bit easier to drop the HP quicker because the Cold Hearts are going to hit a little bit harder because the defense is going to be a little bit lower. So Cruelty on him is good. Cruelty on Geomancer is good. Of course, if you have a legendary champion in either one of the Cold Heart spots or even Maneater spot, if you had Soul Reap, well, that's instantly so good as far as the consistency. I'll probably build this team on my account, but with Newt instead of one of the Cold Hearts. So then his masteries are Giant Slayer. For the Geomancer, we have War Master. Go War Master. We have Cruelty Blessing. He's in the lead spot. He has to be in the leader spot to get the turn meter boost from Inquisitor Shamel. You already saw his other stuff. Maneater has no blessings. He's in a bolster set between 262 and 267 at 263. We have no relics. We have no blessing. And we have no masteries either. He's a pretty free-to-play Maneater, if you could even say that. He's a Void Epic. But like I said, it could be Sir Nick. It could be Emic, Fusion Champion, as well as the champion involved in the whatever the event Sir Nick was involved in. The Cold Heart is in an Instinct set, really just a defense ignore set. We want to hit the max HP, which is 435,000 damage. As long as you're hitting that, it's fine. Cold Heart's pretty easy to hit that as well, since she only needs 70% crit rate. Now, as far as our other stuff, we have Phantom Touch for a little extra damage. But once again, you don't have to have these Cold Hearts. You could use many other champions. Both the Cold Hearts are here, same builds. We have Giant Slayer for just a little bit extra damage sprinkled in there. Now we'll go ahead and do another run, see how this plays out. And then I want to show you guys the full epic version, as well as just throwing in a Newt. The speeds for those champions does not matter. It's awesome. Matter of fact, you could probably even have a Relentless set on these champions. Cold Heart, if she uses her A2 into her A3, yeah, she's going to drop the unkillable, but she's going to get her AoE skill off. Same thing with Newt. If he's in a Relentless set, you could use the A3 from him, and then his A2, he's going to do an AoE skill, and it's going to finish the run. I didn't want to use a Newt because there's so many teams using Newt in them that I wanted to make a team that was more accessible, but you can still throw in those OP champions and be perfectly fine. A champion like Odin could probably be used, though he doesn't have an AoE skill that actually hits, so it may not be the best option. Now this run is looking like one of those where the damage isn't the best. It may be a fail. So we're getting pretty close there. Geomancer does his stuff, we get the counterattack, and we get the block buff. So that's what's going to happen if you're just a little bit short on the RNG from the damage. Now when I use Royal Guard, it was fine. If I used a Geomancer, it's going to be fine. Oh, sorry. If I used a Newt, it's going to be fine. The Cold Hearts, for some reason, it didn't work out great there. Like I said, we could just squeeze up a little bit more damage on these champions, and it's going to be no problem whatsoever. So I'll do one more. You can also adjust the speeds on these champions a little bit. Like I said, Geomancer's range is from 267 to 280. So plenty of a range there. We have no decreased defense or weaken on any of our champions now. This is not a good situation. I want Venus to place that, which, if you're using Emic or if you're using Sir Nick, she will place that on the second go around. She won't with Maneater though, because Maneater places the block debuffs. Right there, that'd been a huge chunk of damage we're missing out on basically because she did not place the decreased defense or weaken. But I could swap these champions in no problem. Super easy. Now the Cold Hearts come in and we're fine. We're doing plenty of damage. Cold Heart has another Heartseeker. Not a problem. So if you wanted to make this instantly more consistent, all you'd have to do, just with a Royal Guard example, let's go ahead and swap him in. We'll throw him in there. The Maneater, let me see if I can save his. Actually, no, I don't have a supersonic set for Sir Nick, unfortunately. Let me see if I have one for Emic. So, do we have sorry, I don't have a supersonic set with accessories. I could do it with just a 4-piece supersonic. That would be fine. So this is okay. We'll go here. We'll go preset manager. Have a bolster set right there. We just need a 260 number. Like I said before, 263 basically is what I'm looking for. Go right here for maybe a +7 or 8. But this alone is going to make it so much better. But you don't have to have Emic either. You can still be successful with the other team. So 261, we need a little bit faster speed. We'll go ahead and go the +4 here. Sorry, yeah, well, let's go a +2 there instead. Wife's texting me, I think lunch is ready. Cool, yeah, lunch is ready. And we're going to go ahead and do this and then go eat some food. So Immic, the cruelty one, will drop this Maneater, throw in this Immic. Matter of fact, I could actually go Soul Reap on him, make it even a little bit better. So where is the Immic? Because he's going to get the very last turn of the team. He's going to be the last champion alive. So this Soul Reap is going to make it, basically make up for any damage we're missing out on. But also, we're guaranteed now to get the decreased defense and weaken from Lydia, assuming we don't resist it. That's the advantage Immic alone has over Maneater. But if you throw in a Newt instead of the Cold Heart, well, now you're getting 2 extra max HP hits, which is huge. If you threw in a Marius instead of one of these champions, you're getting even more stuff there. So there are so many potential champions you could swap this out for. For some reason just now, we did not get the Cupidus hit us because my Immic did not have the 4-piece supersonic that I was literally supposed to have. So let's go and fix this and have things functioning the way they are supposed to be, and then we're going to be okay. So that's what happens. If you don't have the supersonic, if you can survive the Cupidus, you're fine. But if you can't survive the Cupidus, which is what I built this team expecting to not do, which is survive the Cupidus, well, then you're going to need the 4-piece supersonic. So the Maneater's other piece, let's go ahead and throw this on there. 262. I need a weapon. What's going on here? I keep putting the wrong stuff on. I just keep swapping his shields back and forth. I can't talk and do the video at the same time, apparently. So +5, that's fine. Get extra 3 speed. So now we have the 4-piece supersonic, correct, and then the bolster set. My champions did survive. That was probably just RNG because they could very easily die if we had a decreased defense and weaken, and Cupidus hits hard. He does hit pretty hard. But if you have a huge bolster set, well, that's not really going to matter either, right? But here, the Venus is going to go, which is fine. That's what we expect. She didn't go. Actually, no, she already went. She already took a turn. And then the Cupidus takes his turn. Okay, I'm not paying attention very well. I'm getting lost in the champion order. But we have Husk do his stuff, which both of these champions are AoE enemy max HP. So both of these champions are doing their skill, and then Cupidus is counterattacking, which is even better, in my opinion. Of course, Geomancer is only using his A1 skill, never use the A2, well, A1 and A3, never the A2, because there's no AoE effects there. So this should finish up the fight. Very close. If he was a little bit lower, Soul Reap would have kicked in there. Let's try another one. Okay, so Kaja goes, the boss goes, strips everything, Inquisitor Shamel boosts, Immic counterattacks, remove counterattack if you want to save a few seconds. Timid does his stuff, then Venus does her stuff. Right? Venus, you're going to do your stuff. Okay, Geomancer goes, then Venus goes. Perfect. I'm actually paying attention this time. Immic cuts in between the Venus and Cupidus, allowing you to have a little bit squishier champions over here because this Royal Guard would not survive that Cupidus hit. No chance. We have the decreased defense and weaken applied, which is exactly what I want to have, the perfect situation. We're hitting max HP cap. We're getting some counterattacks going from the Cupidus. Both AoE max HP champions. They do their ally attack. So the buffs we're placing is giving the boss extra turns, helping more damage come through. Geomancer is going to do his A1. Royal Guard does have the benefit of also doing a multi-hitting skill, which has a chance to hit a Cupidus. So removing a little bit more RNG. Immic also has an AoE skill there as well, which is going to make the Cupidus, once again, be more of my ally than it is their ally, which is amazing. Cupidus does his stuff. This is the slowest run I've seen yet, at 1 minute and 14 seconds. But we're okay. We had plenty of stuff going on there that's going to make sure the boss takes the damage. Now, if you take too many turns, like too many buffs, and the boss gets too many turns, then you are at risk of the boss getting this off of cooldown. But that would probably be pretty unlikely to happen. If it gets off cooldown and the boss strips the unkillable, then basically you're in a bad situation. No decreased defense and weaken place there. It's okay, not a big deal. And of course, if Kaja gets back around to her turns, then it's not going to be a great situation either. So Cupid's doing his stuff. There's a lot of RNG as far as the damage dealt. Like, this is 37 seconds and we're already almost killed. As far as the boss goes, I'm fine. This other run was 35 seconds and it was done. It's actually kind of crazy how much RNG can be involved with the damage being dealt. like the War Master procs and everything, the crits from the Cupidus, the War Master procs from such. It's just, there's a lot of variation as far as the damage, but as long as you have plenty of AoE stuff, you have Soul Reap, plenty of damage from your damage dealers, you're going to be okay. And this team is probably the easiest to build that I've seen so far. So Geomancer's fine. And now say if you wanted to use your Newt, see where he's at, it's going to be even better, like I said. This is going to be what I build, but I wanted to share the versions with you guys that did not involve Newt. So we'll swap that over. This is fine. We'll just actually, is it fine though? I don't actually know. We'll see if it's fine. He has a 3-star Soul Reap. He is 230 crit damage, 200 speed. Yeah, it should be all right. I think he's 6-piece Merciless. Actually, yeah, he should be 6-piece Merciless for the defense ignore and such. But 200 speed's okay. He'll get the A3 skill and then the AoE skill because Immic is placing the unkillable right after Newt goes. So while these champions are on 2 turns, it's almost like Geomancer's on 3 turns in a way because he's going to be the last one after Immic for the unkillable to fall off of, which is pretty sweet. But then, of course, Newt is going to go in with his A3, get huge hits off on the boss. Immic is also going to reduce the cooldown on those skills. It's kind of cool as well. This one's going to be much faster, though. Much faster than that other version that I was running. Or more consistently faster. Inquisitor Shamael doing the counterattack stuff. That is probably making the time take longer. So if I had the Maneater back in here, it would probably be quicker because the animations wouldn't be as long. And there we go. Soul Reap is done. Matter of fact, let's try that one time. So the Maneater is probably going to make it quicker because he's not going to be doing as many counterattacks. It's pretty cool. So as far as Inquisitor Shamael, because he counterattacks, I think, on every debuff, essentially. So the HP burns and stuff. So we'll swap this. Swap this. 268. It's a little bit too fast. A little bit too fast there, buddy. Priority speed. Equipment. 5. That's fine. 263 is no problem. Newt is more tanky than any of these other champions. We'll drop Immic. Drop Immic. Throw Maneater in. And then do number 1. And this actually doesn't even matter anymore. I was thinking that his A1 was AoE. It's not. It has an AoE decrease attack, which I actually do not want on the Cupidus at all. So I actually don't even want him to use that skill. This version of it should be good, though. Other than like a Marius or an Acrisia or a champion over here who does multiple max HP hits, this will be the fastest version of this team. But if you put a Newt and a... Well, he's dead now. Even with him dead, with Newt here, it's going to be fine, I believe. But if you had a different champion there, it'd be solid. So Newt comes in, does his A3. Like a Marius or an Acrisia, both will make this more quicker. More quicker? No, faster. Maybe it make you speak right, but probably not. So Newt does his AoE skill, Maneater does his shenanigans. More counterattacks. The Newt is going to do the A2 skill, the AoE hit there, which is more Cupidus. I mean, there we go. It's easy, right? 54 seconds. You can imagine that a Marius triple hitter is going to basically be finishing it off. It's pretty solid, guys. I'm pretty excited for this team. Very happy for it. Hopefully, all the variations and changes make sense to you all. But the notes, the bare minimums, the specifics that you have to have met are the shield sets, which is causing the boss to reach the 10 buff and then extra turn. Have enough HP to survive them. Supersonic on the unkillable champion. You don't have to have accessories. You can have 4-piece supersonic on the artifacts and then just use a different champion in shield set. Or if you had a Marius plus a Newt, then you don't even need to worry about the shield set probably because you have more tanky champions, which is a very valid thing you could do as well. Geo between 267 and 280. Maneater or the unkillable champion between 262 and 267. And you'll be good to go. AoE hits. And you're looking good. Matter of fact, I could get rid of Royal Guard and put Huskin instead. Or we could just go Cold Heart instead as well. A lot of options, guys. There's so many options. Let's see how this plays out. The Cold Heart's probably going to survive. She's a higher blessing than that Royal Guard anyways. It's going to be a little bit slower because she doesn't activate the AoE hits from that Cupidus when she does her max HP hit, whereas Royal Guard does, just like a Marius or an Acrisia would. And you don't really want to kill these side people these allies because these are doing damage to your team and helping you kill the boss a little bit quicker. Though ultimately, it's not a big deal. I guess if you kill them, Cupidus is really the only one I care about. Everybody else is doing a little bit extra, but nothing crazy. Then Newt does his stuff, 33 seconds. And then as long as we keep up the HP burn, we're fine. So it does fail if the HP burn's not placed, I'm sure. I don't see why it would be successful in that case. But there we go, 41 seconds, guys. So best of luck building this team. Like I said, I believe it's the slowest team and the most accessible as far as champions. Guys, best of luck building this team. Hopefully all can make this work. I did go in there just now and rebuild the Cold Heart because I forgot that her gear was off and it failed the run because she did nothing. She took no turn ever, basically. But this team, hopefully you can, with that information, go in here and maybe throw in a legendary with Brimstone or Soul Reap, or throw in a max HP champion who does more than just a single max HP hit. You have Newt, amazing, Marius, Acrisia. Maybe even you want to try just an AoE A1 champion who does a few extra hits from Cupidus. Maybe that could work, though I'd say it's not the most safe route. But there are things you could change in this team to make it more consistent and fill the damage gaps that may happen with champions like Coldheart and the RNG that happens from War Master proccing or not. But in general, make those small swaps. Gonna be a very safe, very consistent team. I prefer using Royal Guard or Husk personally, especially Royal Guard, because he can use that hamstring ability that does a multi-hit. But if you don't have Royal Guard, Husk is fine. He's easier to build. He's more tanky than Royal Guard. And right here, we're fine on damage anyways. Heartseeker finishes it off, and we still had a few AoE counterattacks possible from Cupidus. So guys, thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Help this video get pushed out to more people. Let me know if you have any other suggestions for a Stage 30 team. And remember, if this team gets messed up and I don't recognize it, let me know, and I will get a video out as soon as possible with a new team or just an announcement saying, hey, don't run it. Something's changed. It's not working as it should. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one.